What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Let me turn on my light. Boom. Oh, I didn't turn it on. Boom. Now it did. Hey, how are you guys doing? Tyler here with Tarver Academy YouTube channel, also at NLC College. So excited you guys are here. I want to do a full walkthrough with you, going through Google Classroom. Okay, so here's the deal on this. It's going to be, I think, helpful. I'm going to walk through everything I think you'll need, but I think it's going to be better if you interact, you ask questions, you ask for different things, like not just how do you do this, but you could even ask, what would you do in this situation? What would be the process for this? What would you think through before you did this? So ask me questions and I'll go through it as we do this. I was trying to think of a name for this little morning hangout where we learn things. I went with Tea Time with Tyler because there's a lot of T's in there. Today I'm going with a very a lovely tea. It's a Starbucks brew tea. So here we are. Wow. Everybody take a drink of their tea. Well, it's delicious. Tastes like coffee because it is coffee. Okay. So here we go. If you have any questions, if you have anything you want me to address, just throw that in to the comments. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to resize this out for you guys. Let's go. There we go. That could probably be bigger. I don't know how to make myself bigger. I don't know. Let's go. Boom. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's beautiful. Is that cool? Or do y'all want to see me? Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here. All right. Let's go back to this. Okay. So we're in our screen and we're going to go to Google Classroom. Now, there's a couple ways to get there. You could go to this, what they call the waffle, and click that, and you can go to, like, scroll down. These are your Google apps. You can scroll down to Google Classroom and click on it there. You could also just type in class. Good morning, Mary. Mary, you are always very kind in the comments, and so I appreciate you a lot. So here we go. We're going to go to classroom.google.com. All right, that's the way I would go there the first time. Now, here's the thing with Google Classroom. It is a location that you're going to frequent frequently. Okay, so whenever it's a website that you do use. Hey, Mary, it's nice to see you today. It's great to see you. Happy Monday. Look at us. We're the real teachers. We care. We really care because we're learning on a Monday morning. So whenever you're in Classroom, you know you're going to go there multiple times a day. And so what I always try to do is I try to make it easier for me to get to that location. And so look up here at the top. Do you see my tab up here at the top versus classes? For websites that I go to frequently, I like to do what I call pin. I call it, Google calls it this. I like to pin those tabs. So I right click on it and I click pin. That's going to keep that up there. Greetings from the Netherlands. We got some Netherlands people. Hey, Elizabeth. It's very, very nice to see you out of the Netherlands. We're learning about Google Classroom. If you guys just join us, I'm going to do full walkthrough of Google Classroom, try to hit everything I think would be helpful to you. But I would love if you would ask questions or comments, or if you have requests, we can go through those as well. I just want to make this a chill morning where we hang out, drink some tea or coffee. You know, I thought coffee time with Tyler would have been the way to call it, but I don't know. I think I went tea time with Tyler. If y'all think I should change it, let me know. I'm up to change it. But I would like to review some stuff in the mornings until I lose everyone's attention, then I'll stop. So in the comments, let me know if you're drinking coffee or tea this morning or something else. So here we go. We're in Classroom. We've talked about pinning our tabs. Hey, we got some. We got Sir. Hey, what? Pertus. I can't even say your last name. I just realized. NYC 19, baby. Yes, Luis. Man, dude, y'all's group. Y'all's group was for real. If you guys have not applied for Google Innovator, you should. There are some incredible educators in there, and Luis is one of them. He's solid. What were y'all? Y'all were the like-minded wackos. You get to name your teams. Sorry, we're going through Google Classroom. I got distracted. So we're rolling through Google Classroom, and in here, I've already talked to you about pinning your tab because it's something you use multiple times a day. You could also hit the star right here, and we can put that, you can put it in your bookmarks bar. Here's a little hint. You can delete the text out of it, and that'll make it just a little icon so you have more room in your bookmarks bar. So just a fun little trick you can use. So those are a couple ways to make it shortcuts on there. Now we're in my Google Classroom. This is my regular Gmail account, tylertarver@gmail.com, Google Classroom. So here's the deal with that. If you guys wanted to jump in to this class and you're signed into your school email account, you will not be able to join. So your school emails, if it's at yourschool.edu or whatever your school email is, that is an organization. If you have a regular Gmail account, you cannot sign into you cannot join a classroom in an organization, and an organization cannot join into like a regular Gmail account. So that's just a fun fact. If you have students that are trying to sign in and they're like, I can't sign in, it says I don't have access, then they're maybe check first to see if they are signed into a make sure if they're signed into a regular email. Just throwing that out there. And also, if you have parents, you're like, hey, parents, you can sign into my class. They can't sign into your class if it's a school email. So we're in here. Look at this one. This is my daughter created this class. So fun fact, one morning she got up, got on my iPad and signed into a ton of, she signed into a couple of my actual classes I teach, and she made some weird assignments where she was asking to play some Disney Channel show. Okay, so we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to start with creating a class. Remember, if you guys having a good morning, we got some new people jumping in. Oh, look at these people. You guys are real teachers. Y'all are for real. You know what that means? That means y'all want to learn, and I love that. So if you got any questions, oh my goodness, fresh ground espresso. My goodness, man, we need to hang out. I say let's do a conference, but just you and me will go and we'll kick it and drink coffee and hang out, talk about education. I would like that. So here's what we're gonna do. In the comments, let me know if there's something you want me to go through, but I'm gonna walk through some different common ways to run Classroom. Okay, so we're up here. We're gonna start off. We're gonna create a class. This upper right-hand corner, the little plus sign, we're gonna click on that. Now, if you're signing in to your Classroom and it does not give you the option to create a class, that means that you created an account and signed up as a student. You need to reach out to your administrator for your school and say, hey, yo, I'm a teacher. Please put me in the teacher group, and they'll put you in a different group and you'll get to do that. So we're gonna go to create class, okay? Using at a classroom at a school with students. Okay, now it's telling me that if I need a school account because it recognized that I'm in a regular Gmail account. I understand. That's not how that goes. Okay, so here is the part where we're labeling our courses. I always like hazelnut coffee. That's lovely. Man, I like me some flavored coffee. I've been trying to use up the rest of the Starbucks one because I found a new one. It's called San Francisco, what's it called? San Francisco Bay coffee, and it's delicious. I really like it. So I do French press. You guys tell me in the comments. Do you do French press, pour over? Do you do a Keurig? What do you do for your coffee? I'd love to hear. So when you're creating the class, work out your own organization system. Okay. So let's say this is a class. We'll call it. We can call this class. What's a class name? Throw it out there in the comments. Let's see. We could do geometry. Oh, French vanilla. That's good. Keurig, Stacy. Keurig is my so convenient. So convenient. Hold on, my son's deciding to come in. That's weird on your toy camel. Hey, buddy, can you give me a minute and then I'll hang out with you? Is that cool? I love you. Sorry about that. Hey, virtual education. Am I right, guys? So let's go geometry. Let's say we could just call it, class name is geometry. We call it this section. This is where you would probably put like your class period. So I'd put like fourth period. Okay. Subject, it's math, and then they're going to actually have different suggestions for you. And then room, you could say, if it's a virtual class, you could say, World Wide Web. That's how you spell web. Okay. All right. So Keurig drive-through. Tammy, what's a Keurig drive-through? What is that? That's very interesting. Does that mean like you went through the drive-through and they gave you how many guests during the Google halftime? Oh, Mary, I've heard of this. So wait, are you saying that like random people have signed in? Not like they call them Zoom bombs, right? Um, so it's not. Are you saying that like people that aren't in your class? You're talking about like people that are like have school accounts? Because I've always heard that Google um, is very what's the term? Their security is very good in Google Meet. If you've not found that, let me know because I'm telling people that it's good. So, oh, okay. So you're you're saying your kids. Okay, good. You scared me for a second because I've been telling people like Zoom has all these random visitors, but Google Meet's safer. And you said that. I got you. I'm with you now. I'm with you. Yeah, Zoom is. I know Google Meet and Zoom are different platforms. I'm not a Zoom. I say I'm not a Zoom fan. Zoom's fine. Okay. And if you have I'm going to throw this out as another Tyler tip that may or may not be true. If you have people you work with that are like, oh, Zoom's, we need to use Zoom instead of Google Meet, blah, 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 and they have the reasons. Don't use Zoom. Start using Google Meet. It doesn't matter what feature, if you can, whatever. It doesn't matter about the features right now. Because here's the deal. And this is the same conversation I had with my teachers at our building like 7 or 8 years ago. They were like, should we use Google Classroom to run our classes or Edmodo? What are we using now? We're all using Google Classroom. Nobody's using Edmodo. Okay. And so keep in mind that while Zoom's fine and it may have some good stuff right now, Google Meet is what you're going to be using 5 years from now. Everyone will. And so, because Google just keeps making things better. Am I right, Luis? Like Google Innovator 2019. Man, we need to do a get together. Okay. So I need something that allows for more than 100 participants. Ideas. Yes, Mary, you could do what we're doing right now. Are you wanting them? Because here's the thing, when you have over 100 participants in your classes, the problem is either people, A, don't talk because they don't want to interrupt, or they start talking over each other, or that it grows too much. So what I would recommend is do something like this, do a YouTube live and let people comment, and then you can curate the responses. And I'll show you guys an example. So like if I was running this like a normal class, what I would have done at the beginning of class, and you guys can do it now, say, hey, if you want, we would, hey kids, we're starting class. I know you guys are watching here live from your house. If you could say here or present or tell me your favorite pizza place in the comments. That's how we're going to take roll today. Everybody, and you guys do it right now. In the comments, tell me your favorite pizza place. Mine's Blaze Pizza. Tell me yours, so that's how I take roll. So that's a way you can run a class where you have more than 100 people. Mary, for that conference, that's what I would do. I would probably run, because you're not going to want them to all just start talking over each other. So I'd probably do like a YouTube, either a YouTube premiere, which means you record the video beforehand and then you run it like a live video and people can comment. Or two, you can do something like this where you're streaming live. And I'm using a website called StreamYard, and it's got a free version if you're just running to YouTube. I can actually stream to YouTube and Facebook at the same time, and then it'll curate the comments through there. Plan to use Google Meet. Emily, I'm actually, so today I'm talking about Google Classroom. Tomorrow, I should have pulled this up. This week, I'm also talking about Google Drive, Google Slides. I'm gonna do a Google Classroom student view, and there's something else. So I'm gonna go through those, and I'm gonna address Google Meet as well. Okay, so we're still going through Google Classroom. Sorry, I started talking about that, but I want to talk to you guys. This is just a conversation where we're walking through this stuff. So if you have any other questions or ideas, or you've got a situation coming up, let's talk about it. So Mary, I think you asked about it. Yeah, Mary, what I would do is I would have do a YouTube premiere where you pre-record it and you play it, or you do something like this where it's live. That's what I would do if I had over 100 people. So, all right, so we're in our classroom. Okay, now you need to get students to join your class. Right here, you click this and it'll show. Now, the idea for this, you're like, okay, well, that doesn't help me if the students are all at home. They have this set up like this because they assume you're sitting in your class with your students in class, and you just click this and you tell students to go to classroom.google.com and sign in to their class here. They'll click join and they'll go in and sign in. Holly, you just said your favorite pizza place is Larry's. That is my kid's favorite pizza place, and they love it. What is your favorite pizza? I would love to know. Mine is buffalo chicken. I will literally not eat any pizza there. Not that I don't like it. All their pizza is good, but I just want to eat buffalo chicken. So, you found your motorcycle? Oh, that's so good, buddy. I'm so excited. I love you. Sorry, he was looking for his motorcycle earlier. Okay, so here we go. Baked potato pizza. Oh, they got a breakfast pizza. It's really good too. All right, so I'm in my geometry class. Okay, look up here at the top. These are kind of like my my categories, my main categories that I'm rolling with. So we've got the stream here. What the stream is, this is for like announcements. This is for, hey guys, here is the syllabus. Really, to be honest with you, the way I organize stream, the way I organize what goes in the stream is by what doesn't go in the classwork. So if it's classwork right here, if it's classwork, I know that I'm taking a grade on it, okay? I'm taking a grade on that. If it's anything else that I'm not taking a grade on, so I'm saying, hey guys, we're not having class today, or hey guys, don't forget to check in with your parents on this, or hey students, here is, you know, the link to something that might help you, you know, throughout the year, but we're not having a grade on it, like extra resources, that'll go in the stream. Anything I want to hold them accountable for, I put under classwork. Anything else goes under stream. Okay, does that make sense? That's how I organize it. So here we go. Let's actually make a post in here. So right here, I'm gonna say cancel so you can see it again. Right in here, I'm in the stream. It's just an announcement I want to make. Share something with your class. Boom. Okay, I want to say, hey everyone, excited about class this week. Watch this fun announcement video and comment with your favorite, with the thing you're most looking forward to this week. So when you're, whenever you're making an announcement, usually I always try to say something to where people will respond, people will interact. Because if not, it's if you do a lot of stuff where you're just like yelling with a megaphone at them, they'll start tuning out. I've found they don't want to communicate. They don't want to jump in and, you know, get interactive. And then after a while of, you know, somebody yelling at you with a megaphone on the street, you start like ignoring them to the point where you don't think about it and you don't look at it. So I always try to do something where I ask them a question and I let them know anytime we meet or talk is that whenever I ask a question, I expect an answer. So I can add information here. So it can be from Google Drive, link, file, YouTube. Let's, how about we do this? We'll go to YouTube and I will pull, when I was a principal of a school, I would make my announcement videos. And so we can pull one of those announcement videos. This is what I recommend too. If you guys are doing, look, there's us. There's our videos. First one. How about minor TV announcement? Okay. So if you guys are at home, if you're teaching virtually, I highly recommend you start making some videos either once a week at the least. Every day would be awesome. And it's not as much work as you think. If you just get a phone and you're not editing it, it's not as big of a deal. But you can make videos for your students to where you're just kind of giving an update on the day. So here's some that we did. I would read the announcements. Man, I'm so young and carefree. So like, here we go. I can grab that link. Okay, I'm gonna pause that because I don't want to hear my voice. Well, my kid's deciding to take this moment to sing. Hey, Fennec, could you please stop singing, son? Cool. Okay, so here we go. Add. We're gonna go to, I could add YouTube. I'm gonna add YouTube directly because it looks prettier whenever you put it together. I'm giving them the URL. I've already copied it. Let that pop up. And I could have picked one with a better thumbnail. That's a terrible, terrible thumbnail. Okay, so this will be on my announcement video. I want to let them know ranch is the new milk. That was actually an inside joke. That's another thing I highly recommend. If you have students who are staying at home and you start making these videos to build community, build connection with them, they're going to get to know you. One of the things that I recommend is start making some inside jokes. even come up with like a nickname for your students. This is actually pretty normal for anybody on YouTube. So if you watch any YouTubers with your students, they definitely watch YouTubers, and they watch YouTubers every day. Those YouTubers have nicknames for their people that, you know, watch their show. They like have inside jokes with them. They sell shirts with these random phrases that students love and buy. It's because they have these inside jokes. So make inside jokes, build connections with your students that way. One way that I did it was I made a joke when I was reading the announcements that ranch dressing is really just melted, or no, 2% milk is just melted ranch dressing. And so it became a fun inside joke. So there we go. Now, before you do this, before you post this, you can actually choose to send it to multiple classes at the same time. So if you're making one announcement video, you can address it to where it's like, hey, students, or, you know, if you're, you know, the fake school I have on the internet is called Tarver Academy. And we one time we made up a mascot called the Sword Horses, which is like a unicorn. It's just a horse with a sword on its head, sword horse. And so you could say, hey, what's up, Tarver Academy Sword Horses? We're excited to have you guys here this morning. What I want you to put in the discussion, today's discussion question of the day is, what is the, you know, I don't know, what is the best sport ever? Okay. And then they would just have a conversation about that. You could do that in a way to where you're addressing all your classes at the same time. So you're not making 6 or 7 different videos a day. And then you could pick all the places you want it to go. I don't want it to go really anywhere. I can put it in these two. All right. And then I can hit post. Now, what that does is that posts that announcement to my class. They can now see that. All right. So if you guys actually went in and signed into Google Classroom, not with your school account, and you typed this code in, you would be able to see that announcement. Okay, so announcements are pretty straightforward. That's not you're watching. I'm not watching Tabitha Brown. What is that? Is that I haven't watched it, but if you recommend it, maybe I will. So I'm in here. Boom. Now, see these 3 dots? These are like your settings for anything you do. I can go in, I can edit that later, say I forgot something or I need to say something or whatever it is. I may have changed it. I can edit, I can delete, or I can copy that link to that specific thing, and I can actually email it out. I can email the link to that announcement out. She's an Instagrammer. I need to check it out. Would you suggest having 3 different classes on Google Classroom or just one? Okay, so Abby Barker, that's a great question. So Abby just asked, she has 3 different blocks of the same class. Would I recommend having 3 classes on Classroom or just one? What I would recommend is if this is a class that you plan on meeting in person, I would have 3 different ones. And it's because I've taught, and you know, I mean, we all know that some classes stuff happens. There's an announcement or an assembly, or maybe you just that class needs more help, and you don't move as far along. You would need to adjust based on where you are in those classes. I would recommend setting up 3 different classes, and then under section right here, I would put which block it is or class period it is. And you can very easily send it to all of them at the same time. Now, here's the other thing, Abby, that I would keep in mind. If you know, like say something happens and you go virtual as soon as school starts, we never go in person, you just go virtual, I would just do one class. Because here's the thing, don't, like, if I'm teaching geometry and I'm all virtual, there's no way I'm going to set that instruction up like it's 6 different classes. We used to have a lot of online classes whenever I was a teacher and a principal. And there's no way we had all those sections running individually. I would have them run, hey, everybody tune in and watch this to get the initial curriculum, either as a premiere or me presenting like this, or watch this video I found on YouTube. And then after that, you can split up your meeting times if you want, but honestly, you should probably combine the meeting times as well. I'm a librarian that teaches K through 5. Should I do 6 different classes? Yeah, because I mean, I assume you're doing it like most librarians that I got a chance to work with. They try to not compartmentalize, but they try to teach and do lessons and read books based on the age range of the students. And you wouldn't want to push out something, you know, that's a 5th grade level to a bunch of kindergartners. So I would also split those up. But each of those, what is that, 6, you know, K and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those 6 classes, you could set up in a way to where it's the whole grade. So you might have 200 students in kindergarten. They're all in that one class. and then you could split them all up based on grade. That's what I would do. Good question, Holly. Thank you for asking that. Okay. So we're gonna keep going, but keep asking questions. This is fun. I know a lot of you guys, that's the thing, you don't know in the fall what it's gonna look like. So any questions related to anything that you have coming, like throw them at me and I'll give you any thoughts I have. If I don't know, I'll just say, I don't know, but this is what I would try. That's the thing. Even the stuff that I did that worked for me, and I would be like, yeah, 100% I'd do that again. It might not work for you. Like you might have a different group of students, you're a different teacher. You never know. So that's the thing. Don't take just because maybe me or somebody else has experience in online learning, take them as ideas. Okay. But whenever you start implementing them, you're going to figure out really fast what works and what doesn't. And then you can start adjusting, keep adapting, and keep figuring it out. So there we go. Now, I want to show you one thing here, and it's going to lead me into something I think might be the most useful tip I give you if you haven't done it yet. This right here, it looks like a little a retweet if you're on Twitter. If Luis is still here, I know he's a baller on Twitter. Y'all should check him out, follow him. So I'm going to hit this right here. This is this is called reuse post. And so from here, if you click this, you can go in and use previous announcements or assignments from previous classes or previous years. So you were talking earlier about splitting up your 3 blocks. Let's say 2 of those blocks got a week ahead of the other one. Okay, and you teach these 2 classes. Well, then when you get to this class, you can actually go in and reuse the assignment. I'm out of focus. That's okay. Reuse the assignment from these classes a week or 2 ago. So it's loading. While it's loading, I'm going to answer some questions. Keep throwing questions in. Let's see. We are new to Google. Oh, Mary, y'all are brand new this year. What have y'all been using? If we're starting virtual, how can I make this process easier and appealing to my 11th and 12th grade? It's a deal. I don't know what you guys were using before, but your 11th to 12th graders, they're going to like Google Classroom the most because it is the easiest. Here's the thing. They do not care about all these crazy features. Whenever they're students, they just care about not being confused. I'm doing my my dissertation stuff and my focus is what retains students in online educational videos. And the top 2 reasons students stop watching a video, the top 2 reasons the students don't like learning something online is because they either A, don't see how it applies to them, or B, they're confused. So you asked, how are they going to transition to Google Classroom? They're probably going to like it a lot once they get the hang of it, okay? So be patient with them up front. Send them tutorial videos. I've actually got, while that's loading forever, tarveracademy.com. I've got a chunk of resources for students in using Google Classroom. So if you go to tarveracademy.com, resources, and then scroll down. Where is that little guy? Where is that little guy? Here we go. Let's see. Oh, these are what I'm doing this week right here. There's a graphic. Let's see. Okay, Google Classroom Starter Kit for Students. So you just scroll down a little bit. You could send them this link up front, and it's just essentially how to do the basic stuff that they'll need to do. That most of them might not have to use it because, like I said, Google Classroom is super intuitive. But if they need, I've got these tutorial videos for students. There you go. So that's still loading. But if it did load, what it would do is it would have essentially a list of each class I've either currently teaching or maybe a class that I've archived. It means that I've said, hey, I'm not using this anymore. And I can pull announcements from those classes. I don't know why it's loading so poorly, maybe because I'm streaming live to the internet and it's moving slow. Let me see if I answered your question first, and then I want to move on because Maddie had a good question. If we're starting virtual, how can I make the process easier and appealing? Okay, so Google Classroom, if you want to make your Google Classroom appealing to your students, keep in mind that they want the tool of Google Classroom to be easy to use, okay? They don't go to TikTok because they love the interface. They go to TikTok because they love the content that is on there. So if you want them to enjoy it and be excited or be into it, you have to be very strategic about what you're putting into the class. So I would do a lot of stuff where it's you on video. You're creating community because you're making videos of yourself, you know, being real with the students, showing your personality, building rapport. You're asking students to create and put in there. You're asking them to have fun, like incorporate the fun in there. It's exactly like we used to do in a real like traditional classroom where we would be like, all right, guys, we're going to go around the room and everybody's going to say their first name. And it's something that, you know, their favorite animal that relates to that name. Or, you know, one that we used to do was, what's your name? Where are you from? And then what animal would you ride into battle? And it could be fictional or non-fictional. And so that would be a fun way to go around and get to know people and get to people to show their personality. Do that same stuff online. They don't want to view online like a checklist for just getting school over with. So that's one thing that I would do, is try to incorporate fun in there with regards to what you're putting in the classroom. All right, good question. Maddie, you said, our school has always been traditional in the past. You're teaching second grade and your principal wants you to use Google Classroom in case a kid gets sick. Yes. Any tips? Absolutely. And how do you make it classroom age appropriate for second graders? Actually, so I have 3 kids. One is not in school yet. And then the other 2, one's going into 4th grade, one's going into 3rd grade. So they actually just got out of second grade a year and then 2 years ago, respectively. So the interface for Google Classroom is not super industrial. It looks pretty clean and simple. So students can use it at any age. It's all about, just like with the 11th and 12th graders, with second graders, it's the exact same. It's what you're putting into it. For age appropriate, it would just be being like very clear, very simple with what you want them to do. You don't want to be like bouncing in and out. All right, you remember, go find the rubric over here, and then go find the syllabus here, and then go do this here. You want to just be like, all right, kids, go to the stream, click on stream. They know to go to stream or classroom. That's it. And actually, I think if you put something in classwork, it goes into your stream. So you can just tell them to stay on stream. And whenever you're doing your assignments, keep it as simple as possible for them so that they're not confused, and over explain it. You're going to get, and again, I know you're doing this in the normal classroom. Think of like the stuff you have to explain to your students in the classroom every day. You're like, every day I have to talk through this procedure and this procedure. And you do it for like 3 weeks until they get the hang of it. Same thing with Google Classroom. Over explain, oversimplify, make it very clear and easy for them to follow. That's what I would recommend. Okay, this isn't loading. I'm sorry. That would have been great. But you can reuse posts. Now, why am I mentioning that? I'm mentioning that because whenever I just made this announcement, that's not how I should have made that announcement. Okay, and I'm going to make a classwork. We're going to go into classwork. I'm going to make one. I'm going to show you how I would label it. I'm going to create an assignment. This means that I have an expectation that they're going to do something. When you title assignments, you almost always need to label the title of it in a way that allows you to go back and find it later. Okay, so your thought process when you're creating assignments is not just, this is what my students need right now. Think to yourself, what would be easiest for me a year from now to find this? That's what you got to think. So some teachers, they like to do assignment 1, and then they start talking. Some people just do 1 dash, and then they do their assignment, you know, points, lines, and planes. And that's how they do it. I don't like that. This is how I do it. Okay, so the way I would set it up is I do a number based on the day that it is. Okay, so 1, the first number right there, that's my day 1. Okay, decimal, and then I do another number. That other number relates to what it is. If it is a 1, it's a resource. If it's 2, it's like a review assignment. 3 is an assessment. That's how I do it. You've got to figure out what works for you. Some people like to set it up like chapters. So like this would be chapter 1, section 1. And so anything that happens with chapter 1, section 1 is 1.1. So keep it organized up front now because you will appreciate it later. Maddie, you had a good question. You said, so I could just make an instruction video also. Yes. Honestly, Maddie, what I would do is can I call you Maddie? Well, we haven't met, but I'm going to call you Maddie. Miss Ellis, I'm sorry. What you could do, what I would do, I would make an instruction video every single day on there. So like your announcements, move a portion of your announcements onto video. And it doesn't have to go into YouTube. You can actually create video directly in Google Classroom, and it goes into it creates a drive video, and it only is shared with your classes. So if you don't want to be on YouTube, that's fine. Okay. It has its benefits because then parents can watch it and stay updated on the information for the class. But also, if you're worried about safety, you can do that there. So in the comments, I would love to know, tell me if you've ever published a YouTube video, yes or no. In the comments, yes or no, have you ever published a YouTube video? So here we go. I'm going to go back into the assignment. If you have any questions, throw them in there. That's good questions. Got some good questions coming in. So points, lines, and planes. What I want them to do, I want them to watch this video and take notes. Take a picture of your notes and upload to, this assignment. Okay. Actually, this is what I do too. I do this for my college students. I number what I want them to do. Like it's literally like, number 1, watch this. Number 2, do this. Number 3, do this. And it's almost like a checklist for that. Now I want to add something. Let's say I want to add a YouTube video. Okay. Earlier, whenever I added the YouTube video, I went in and grabbed the URL. I like Tammy said, not yet. Tammy, I got to hang out with you guys. Let's take a sip of our coffee, a little peaceful coffee. There we go. All right. Earlier, whenever I went and found the YouTube video, I pasted the URL. You can actually go in and search YouTube from inside Google Classroom. So if I went points, lines, planes, I could search and I could find videos on points, lines, and planes. Let's say I want to make sure that it's my video. There we go. Goodness gracious. I don't want these randos. They could cuss. I don't want cussers. Okay, there we go. Boom. I can add that video, watch that video, and then let's say I wanted to add a notes. I can go into my Google Drive. I want to search. Now, one thing that Google Drive does, or Google Classroom does, is they pull from your most recent, because they know us as teachers that right before we went in and posted this assignment, we just got done making the rubric. So I'm going to type in notes, intro to YouTube, course notes. Pretend like that was it. Okay. So what I did was I'm going to let you look at it. I went in and made a course notes for my intro to YouTube class. What I wanted to do was I wanted to organize them taking notes as they went through this course. Now yours for your daily assignments should be probably a lot less than this, but if you made like a really good notes, template, you could always just right click and make a copy and then make new ones for each section. So I could go in and edit this right now if I wanted to, but I'm going in, intro to YouTube, and it's got all these different boxes that they can go in and type in once they get their notes. Now, I'm going to show you, this is one of the best parts about Classroom, so don't check out. Mary, you're going to make that YouTube video too. Mary, Tammy, y'all should make some videos together. All 3 of us, we're going to make a YouTube channel. Let's just think about it. Okay. So right here, this is one of the coolest parts of Google Classroom. This is pretty great. Check this out. So I made this Google Doc. It's like a template for them to take notes in. I can choose whether they can all just look at it. So they can be like, all right, would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? That's from a YouTube video. They can look at the file and they can't change anything on it. Then students can edit the file. So they can all go in and take notes together. That's actually a really good idea. You can either do like a Google Slide or a Google Doc, and you can have people go in and just take, whatever notes they want together. And that way, if a student checks out, they didn't miss it. They can all go in and share notes for, something you're teaching. So now that's where they can edit it. I think I saw somebody say, who said it? Mary said it. Force copy. Make a copy for each student. Guys, this is a game changer. Because think of in the past, I used to have to pass out, everybody would write on their own paper, and then they have to, all right, fold it this way, now put your name and then your class period, and then I'd hope that they wrote their name on it, because if not, I'm trying to recognize, handwriting. And I got to the point where I would just put them in a bucket in the back of the room and be like, all right, it's back there. You can go claim it if you want. Somebody didn't. It was some kids, they got decent grades because they just claimed other people's work. They didn't put their name on. So type no words if they were taking That's fair. And Mary just brought up a good point. Some of the students might write bad words if they did that. Here's the deal, though. You can go in and see who wrote what on documents. If you go to revision history, and then you can follow the handbook. And based on if they said something inappropriate, guess what? You're not allowed to just walk into your classroom and yell out an inappropriate word. So there you go. You give them permission to access somewhere in your doc. I think I know what you're at. If I'm answering this wrong, tell me. Stacy just asked, do you have to give them permission to access somewhere in your document? No, I don't. So I don't have to go back into that doc at all and put share and any of that stuff. It does it all from here. What I would do with this notes, like based on this assignment, I wanted to create a copy for each student. So I would click this. So any student in my class would automatically take that original document and it would force make a copy for them and even give them their name at the top. It's like it passes out papers to everybody in the class if you do this option right here. Now, before you hit submit and before you make this assignment public, you should go here, and you can choose which classes it goes to. We'll send it to my daughter's class she made up in this class. You choose how many points it's worth. Let's make it worth 10 because that's a lot. 10 points. Due date. We can say it's due. I think it defaults to like the next day. So we'll put the next day at midnight. And then topic. Okay. So somebody mentioned a second ago that topics are really helpful. Yes, they are. No topic, I can put it under bell ringers. I'm going to create a topic called Chapter 1. There we go. Now I could add a rubric right here if I had one. Spoiler alert, I don't have a rubric. Then I can hit assign. Now, here's the deal. Maybe you're doing this assignment on Friday and you want them to work on it on Monday. You can actually go to this drop down and you can't, well, why can't I schedule it? I wonder why I can't schedule it. I've never seen it where I can't. I must have clicked something to where I can't schedule it. I know why I can't schedule it. Did anybody figure it out? I can't schedule it because I made the due date tomorrow. It's not going to let me go ahead and do that, a schedule for that. So I'm just going to hit assign, and then I'll show you the schedule on the next one. Okay. So I hit assign, boom, that assignment is live. Those students can go in and see all of that. They can see the whole thing. Is this good? Are y'all okay with this? Y'all like this? Is there something that you want me to address while I'm in here, while this is publishing? I'm stalling. Any questions? So I'll take a drink of our coffee. Let's chill. Tyler needs to chill. Because Stacy said it. That must have been it, because I have more than one class. So you can't schedule something if you select more than one class. If that's the case, that's annoying. I don't know why they did that. What's published and when? I don't know what you're saying right there. Sorry. I want to answer that question. Yes. As far as what's published and when, yes. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe it is. We'll only schedule with more than one class assignment. That's so weird. Why? I don't get that. There's probably a reason, because if not, they would just turn that on, because it seems like an easy fix. Thank you, Kim, for your input on that. Elbow cough. Did I cough? Sorry, I didn't mean to cough. I did. Okay. So I want to show you something that that I have. Okay. So a lot of you guys, you know, you're probably just like us at our college. You're planning on being in person, but you're preparing to be virtual if you have to. You want more info for rubrics? Okay, great. I don't have any rubrics, but essentially what you would do is you would find a rubric, and it can be a PDF, it can be a Google Doc, and then you can attach to the assignment, letting students know this is what's expected of you for this class. It's more, think of it more like, it's more like you're attaching something to it that they can use as a template. That's what I would say on the rubrics. I want to say that they've got like a grading rubric where you can just like click through stuff, but I'd have to check on it. Okay, so I want to show you another thing that you should do, that I would do if I had students in the classroom every day. I would do bell ringers. Do you guys do bell ringers? Yes or no in the comments. Do you do bell ringers with your class? Okay, and we're going to use this actually as an example to schedule out. Can you create rubrics already in Classroom? You can attach rubrics in Classroom, and I'll show you. Let me see what I can do. We'll see what we can do. Okay, so let's do an assignment. We're gonna marry my quotes for bell ringers. That's actually what I was gonna use as an example. So so I have bell ringers for math if you're a math teacher, but I also have one that I started that's more applicable to almost any class, and it is quote of the day bell ringers. So you can actually, like, here's what you got to think. You can do this in your like traditional classroom or on virtual, but think through this with virtual. In a traditional classroom, you give them bell ringers, one, so you can do kind of your admin stuff, but two, so that they can kind of get their brain working. It's like they're getting in the on-ramp to education. So what I did was I created some quote of the day bell ringers that you can use for your class to get their brain started, but in a way to where it's not like you have to stop what you're doing to show them how to do something, because it's a quote, it's an opinion, but it is a conversation starter. So here's one. If you go to tarveracademy.com, I've got it under quote or bell ringers. So here's the video on, here's the quote: success is not final, failure is not final or fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Sorry, my camera is in front of the screen. Okay, so I would take this video, and let's say I wanted to, oh, goodness gracious, I look terrifying. So I'm in Classroom. What I would do is Mary, thank you for saying you're going to use these in your class. I really appreciate that a lot. Like, you put in like hours of making this stuff, and you're just like, here's this free resource. And it's like, you want people to use it. You want people to benefit from the things you made. It's like the Google tutorial videos that I made. It's like some people used, some didn't. And then whenever all this stuff hit with COVID, like, people were using it. And I was like, I don't like COVID, but it's also nice that the things that I made people are using. So let's look at how I would set up. Mary, I'm going to show you how I would set up the bell ringers for quote of the day. Okay, so we're going to use this as an example, but you can use this for anything. Okay, it's Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon, whatever it is. So if you're virtual, you need to have admin time set up where you're scheduling stuff. You already did. You've already been using it. That's right. I think you told me that. How did it go, by the way? I'd love to know how it went if you already did use it. So let's say I want to do bell ringers for my class. I would say this is Monday, bell ringer, week 1. Okay. Don't want to set it up like that. I would probably set it up like this: week 1, Monday, bell ringer. That's probably how I would set it up, because then I can go back and find it easier based on whatever week it is. All right. Now, I've actually made the instructions for you. So let's see. Go back to my bell ringer page. Okay. So I've actually got an example Google Classroom post. Just take this part, copy it, and then you just paste it here. It says, hello class, watch today's video for quote of the day. And in the comments of this post, give your thoughts on the quote, how it applies to you. Do you agree or disagree with Tyler? Make sure to reply to at least one classmate. Keep it kind of the comments. Now, when you're making these, if it's something consistent you're doing every day, you don't have to get creative or crazy, because you and I both know it can be time consuming just giving instructions in here. Once you have good instructions, copy them, and then you can copy paste them. Now, I need to add. And I'm going to add a YouTube video. I'm going to go in and grab this link. Do you know this? You can right click on a link, hit copy link address. Boom. I've got the link address. So I can hit URL, pasting the link. Boom. Now my students are going to start class talking about that. Now, did you guys see this? Look, it's got add, but also I can hit create. I can create a doc, sheet, slide, all that directly from here. So you can actually create it from here. So let's say I want this assignment to be, it's a bell ringer, so I don't want to make it worth a ton, but I want them to do it. If you want students to do it, make it a classwork assignment. Due date, I'm not going to do that yet because I want to make sure I can schedule. Okay, boom, I can still schedule. I'm doing trial and error to see why it wouldn't let me schedule her. Topic, I'm going to create a topic. It's going to be bell ringers. Okay, let's see. Did you know you can select which students to send it to? I don't have any students in here, so I can't select. I don't know why my kid's single. I'm sorry. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to pick other multiple. Let's see if it takes away schedule if I pick another class. Yeah, that was it. Y'all were right. So if you pick more than one class, it's going to take that away. So, but here's the thing: you can always go in and hit reuse post if you want to do that. Now, I want to schedule this. That's important to me. I want to schedule it. Let's make it due on Monday of next week. Hit this, schedule. I want it to go live on Monday at 8 a.m. Boom, schedule. Now, you could go in and do that for like once you're copy pasting. You could literally go in and schedule a full week's worth of bell ringers in 10 minutes once you get the hang of it, because you're literally just copy pasting. Somebody asked something. Mary, you said I use the all students option when sending modified assignments to special ed students. Ooh, okay, wait. So you use the all students option when sending modified assignments to special ed students. So wait, so you're saying you'll send a modified assignment to every student if it's for special ed students, or is it inclusion class? Like, do you have traditional students and then mixed in with different special ed students? If that's the case, you would want to send it to everybody, right? Unless you like primarily teach special ed courses, and then you would just send it to all of your special ed students. So I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Awesome. Okay, if you want to explain that, or maybe I said it right. Probably not. I don't feel like I did. Okay, so we're in here. We're in class. Yes. Okay, so it is an inclusion class. So whenever you deselect all students, okay. Yes, we're on the same page. So what she's saying is that she'll select like a modified assignment. Like say, because I used to have to do this. Whenever you give a test, you would have to give like a test with, 4 multiple choice options to these students, and then 3 options to these students. You can actually go in and create, do the test, create the Google form, send it to these students, select all your students that are, not special ed students. And then you go in and you create the form, just delete one of the wrong answers, and then you can go in and just assign that to those students. So you can actually be specific to who you're assigning it to, but it's still essentially 2 groups of students. So that's great. That's really good. Okay, so we've created stuff in here. Let's create some more stuff. Quiz assignment. Go in here. It's actually what a quiz assignment does is that creates a Google form in there. So it knows that I want to create a Google form. So it's automatically generating it for me. And so I would have to go in and create that form from there. Now, would I do this? Probably not. And here's why, is because I've probably got forms already made that I would just want to make a copy of. And I would go in and just make a copy of that form and then edit it. I don't want to start from scratch every single time. I'm so sorry. Hey, Finnick, can you please stop singing, buddy? We'll see if that works. Okay. All right. Now let's go see what else we can create. We can create a question. Some people want to do, like, you could do a bell ringer like this. This would be a quick way to do a bell ringer. So I did the bell ringers earlier. I'll show you how to submit. Students can submit those. That's a good question. So the question could be, what do you think of this quote? And then you could either just copy paste the quote, or you can grab a quote of the day video, copy link address. This would be less for like creating discussion and more for, hey, I just want you to give me your answer on this. So this is another way to do bell ringers if you want. I like the bell ringers that create discussion among the class. So that's why I was asking to put it in the comments. Also, here's a fun fact. If you're doing virtual, if you're doing all virtual, and if you've got like your day set up to where like students are supposed to be working on it, and then they're like checking in throughout the day or whatever it is, you can use bell ringers like we just showed you at the first of your day and have them, like, part of the assignment is that they comment on it. You can have that to where it is essentially taking roll. And if you get up and it's like 8:30 and the students, okay, we'll go through this submission process. Sorry, I saw the comments. You can use those bell ringers essentially to take attendance. So when students go in and they're not commenting, it's like 8:30 and they haven't started the bell ringer yet, or they haven't given their discussion on it, you could reach out right then, text them. I don't know what y'all's rules are. Text, email, call their parents, whatever it is. Say, hey, so-and-so hasn't checked in with the first assignment today. Can you see, where they are and if they're working on this? You don't want to give them till the end of the day to check out. I would say that first 30 minutes, they got to check in and start working on it. Okay, there you go. Let's see, we've got that. I can pick all this. Can students reply to each other? Can students edit their answers? Good question. I'm gonna make this worth 5 points. Doesn't feel like it should be worth that much. Boom. You can actually choose all that, hit ask. So now that goes in as a question. See how it groups these? I can also create material. That means I just want to hand them something to use. Like, hey, here's this material. This is a resource, a doc, a slide, whatever it is. I'm giving it to them. And then I can also reuse posts. So I can go in and find an old post. Remember, we sat on this for like 5 minutes earlier and it didn't ever load. So we're not going to go to there. Okay. So I want to do stuff that applies to you guys. So I'm going to hit these last two. And then I want to show you how to submit those assignments. Okay. People. Invite students. I don't have any students in my class. I can directly invite them by clicking this and typing their email. So like I've got my burner account, so I'll use it. Invite, boom. Okay, so then grades. This is where we'd have grades, but I just created this course, so I don't have grades. Okay, so I want to show you one more thing, and then I want to do what you guys requested, which is the students submitting stuff. The last thing, and this is actually one of the most asked things that people asked Google for, teachers did. They wanted to be able to move these around. Used to, it was like you just created it and they weren't alphabetical. They just ended up where they ended up. But you can actually go to these 3 dots and you can click move and you can choose where it goes. So I can move this up, I can move them down, move them across, whatever. I can change the direction of where those go. Okay, so let's go into this. All right, so I want to submit an assignment. Okay, Tarver Academy posted a new assignment, quote of the day, bell ringer. Okay, excellent. All right, so I clicked on the video. Let's see what this is. I'm pretending to be a student right now, by the way. And actually Friday on my schedule, we're gonna do a hangout, we're gonna do student view. So tune in Friday. We'll be in there tomorrow morning at 8. We're gonna do another one. I think I'm doing, I guess I could look. I should have known, should have memorized. I think tomorrow's Google Slides. Just want to go through, show you guys some tricks and tips with it. So if you want to check in tomorrow at 8 on this YouTube channel, hit subscribe. That way you can find it. We're not checking out. I'm just letting that load and I'm just talking to you. Tomorrow we're doing Google Forms. Ooh, tomorrow's gonna be a good one. So if you ever want to make a quiz or an assessment through Google Forms, I'm gonna show you how to do that tomorrow at 8 a.m. on this channel. So check into that. So success is not final. Looks like I used that same Winston Churchill quote, but how do they turn in assignments? Okay, this is what it looks like for a student. Okay, is there a green screen feature? That's a good question. They asked, is there a green screen feature in Google Meet? I don't think so right now, but I'd give it a few months because they're going to make one. And I get that. I know that a lot of teachers are worried about with students and their privacy. Some students don't want the other students in their class to see their house. I get that. And that makes sense. So, PD for these. Maddie, that's up to your school admin. I would say yes. I would recommend it. Yeah, Mary, I agree with you. I bet you the green screen. I'm sorry, I'm answering like 3 questions at the same time. I'll start with this. Green screen and Google Meet. I don't think they have it yet, but I bet it will come very soon. Google has other stuff they have where they can do that. And they know that it's important for students and their privacy for them not to show their house to their classmates and either be embarrassed or upset or get in trouble. So I would assume it's going to come out soon if they don't have it already. Maddie, you asked, can you document what we're doing right now for PD? That is 100% up to your PD person. I have been the person in charge of PD for a district, so I was the one that got to say yes or no. They get to choose yes or no if they want this to count for PD. What I would recommend, send them the link to this video afterwards and say, hey, I was a part of this. You can see that I was a part of the chat. That's the thing, that if they say no, it's because they think that you just like send them a link to a video and you're trying to count an hour. You can actually tell them, and I'll show you this. Should I show you this or stay focused? I'm gonna stay focused on this. I'm gonna answer this question, and then I want to show you how you can show your PD person that you were involved in this the whole time. Okay, here we go. So I'm in student view right now on this assignment, okay? I, as a student, I wanna submit this as done. So up here in the upper right, this is where I would go in and I would focus. Mary, that's my problem. I'm literally thinking of 3 different things that you guys have asked that I want to show you. Now my kid's playing the piano. Hey, could we hold on the piano for a few minutes? Awesome. There's so much going on in my house right now. Thanks, Ken. Hey, buddy. Oh, that's a cool motorcycle. Okay. Shiny objects. I know. I get so distracted, and my kids are too. Okay. So they can see from here, this is how many points their assignment's worth. They can see their assignment. They have their links. They can go in. These are class comments. This is where they need to submit their assignment. They can add or create. So if a student goes in, they can actually add or create the different things that they need for this. Say they need to make a Google Doc, or they need to link a file, or go to a link to a website, whatever it is you're asking for. That's why, guys, when you're a teacher, it is very important that you, right here in this part, you tell them exactly what you want them to do. Don't be vague, okay? Don't assume they know. Tell them exactly what you want. Say, I want you to create a doc on your own and put this, this, and this in it. I want you to do a slide and attach it to this and submit it. Be very clear in what you want them to do. That's where they would add or create. So let's say I wanted to add something from my Google Drive. Let's say it was, this. Let's say I completed it. Boom. I can add it in there. Now, here's where I've found that most students mess up. They don't just hit turn in, okay? Right here. As soon as they get done, as soon as they complete an assignment, even if it's something that you said, hey, just do this and bring it to class in person, they still need to mark as completed. Hit turn in. This attachment will be submitted. Turn in. Boom. That's it. That's all your students have to do. And you think, well, that's pretty easy. It is. But until they get in the habit of submitting, I'm serious. I have very smart college students that do this exact same thing. They don't follow through with hitting submit. They don't follow through. Okay? That's it. Guys, hey, if you could hit the like button, that thumbs up underneath the video. It's like right here. Right here. Okay. See that thumbs up button right there? That's just something nice you can do for people if you like their videos. They spend a lot of time making these videos. I, just took an hour to hang out with you guys. If you could hit that thumbs up button, that'd be cool. I'd appreciate it. We're going to be doing more of these at 8 a.m. the rest of this week. And if it goes well, I might keep doing it. But we're going to give this week as like a trial run. Also, if you want to hit subscribe, that's cool. We're not done because I want to show. Maddie was asking how I count what you guys just did as PD. Here's what I recommend, okay? You need to email your PD person. You probably need to start with your principal. Don't go over your principal's head. They wouldn't like that. Then they might send it on to your PD person. What you need to do is you need to send them the link to this video. Say, hey, I participated in this. He is a Google certified trainer. If you live in Arkansas, you can say that I'm a test certified administrator. You can say that my Tarver Academy is certified by the Department of Education. Whatever it is you want to say. They don't have to have all that, but some people like that. So, man, it's loading super slow, guys. But I want to show you there's a feature you can click on these to show how people went through this in real time. So send the link. I'll show you. Usually it's right here. I'm sorry, it's loading super slow. Right here, you can click on this. And it'll say, there's like a little box that says show live chat. And so your administrator can click on that and see that you were participating in the chat the entire time. So there we go. That's what you would do if you want to try to get PD for this. Also, I have more PD, by the way, guys. And you can get this approved beforehand so you don't waste. I don't think it's a waste because I think you're learning something. Wanted to watch because you always have little tidbits and info. Thank you, Mary. Mary, you are super supportive, and I really appreciate you a lot. If you go to resources, click on that. Under here, I have a ton of other. This is where I'm going to put this presentation, but also I've got full PDs. Here's an hour PD. Here's an hour and a half PD. different stuff. There's a 6-hour PD in there, just trainings on stuff to help you guys, especially leading into this virtual world. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you hit subscribe, it'd be a really nice thing you could do. Share with anybody that you think it would help. And hope you guys have the best day. And as teachers, students, and lifelong learners, let's never stop learning out there. See you guys. Peace.